Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict halftime show. My name is Price Carter. As the Chiefs are down to the Chargers 10-7, it is halftime in Los Angeles, and what quite honestly has been a disaster class to start a lot of this game. I want to kind of talk about probably the first 12 minutes of this game first before we get into, or I should say like 20 minutes of this game, before we get into the last couple of minutes of this game. For the first few minutes of this game, you felt like Christmas Day. Like Christmas came early this year for the Chiefs with how absolutely brutal that half was. You have back-to-back turnovers by the offense. A Carson Steele fumble that, frankly, I think should have been challenged. I'm not sure why you don't challenge that, especially with as inclusive as it was, but it appeared that there was no thought of that. I think that was a missed opportunity, in my opinion. And then they march right down the field and get a touchdown. The Chargers do on a couple of just impressive plays by Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey. And then next play out, you throw an interception. And oh, by the way, on that interception, Patrick Mahomes hurts Rashee Rice trying to tackle, which is something that, quite frankly, is like a gut punch of an injury. And we have no idea what the injury is. It does not look promising. He's already been ruled out for this game. So no Rashee Rice the rest of this game. We're not going to speculate, but it is being reported to be a knee injury. And there are no good vibes around it. Let's put it that way. And then the offense struggles. 2 back-to-back 3-and-outs. And it felt, frankly, like they were out to try to prove some sort of narrative about, oh, well, look, we can force feed Travis Kelce. And, oh, look, we can go down the field. And the defense gives up a 3 points after that interception. And it's 10-0, and the offense is sputtering. And it looked about as bleak as it could. Probably the bleakest is Sky Moore drops a pass on third down, where it's like, oh, we've got a Juwan Taylor holding penalty. We've got Sky Moore drops. Every wart that this team had was just showing all at once. It's like every bad trait that they had was all just manifesting in one quarter of football. All of that changed on a Patrick Mahomes touchdown pass to Xavier Worthy. The longest touchdown pass he has thrown in, I believe, 31 games, according to the broadcast, and a pass that I think was absolutely huge for this offense. Now, it was disappointing to see them stall out there at the end of the half. They were in field goal range. Harrison Butker was just short of kicking 65 yards. If Juwan Taylor doesn't get a holding penalty, or I believe it was Trey Smith there at the end, they probably are tied 10-10. Now, what I will say is, as bad as this has looked, Rashee Rice injury aside, injuries happen. They are unfortunate. And we can talk about whether this wide receiver room should have been built different or not. But for right now, he's out of the game. We are talking about this game. The Chiefs, despite all of these terrible things that have happened, are still in a great position in this game. First off, the Chargers offense has essentially done nothing without a short field. They got 2 short fields. They scored on both of them. 10 points, not 14. Give credit to the defense for at least holding to a field goal there. For the rest of this game, they've looked out of sync. The run game hasn't been killing the Chiefs. The defense has held up nicely, and they've gotten good pressure on Justin Herbert these last couple of drives. Now, to the other side of the ball, the offense. It is going to be tough in this game no matter what, because they went into this game probably game planning for Rashee Rice. And now that's a key player in their game plan that's no longer there. But if the defense is playing the way that it is, I'm not sure how many points the Chiefs are going to have to score to come out and win this game. I want to read a tweet by Daniel Popper, who's the athletic beat reporter for the Chargers. He said, who's going to play nickel for the Chargers today? Jasir Taylor, fibula, is inactive. Derwin James is suspended. Those 2 players have combined for 120 slot snaps this season. Then he lists some of the other options who could play in a rotation. Basically, the Chargers have no slot defender in this game. That feels like a point of area to attack. Juju Smith-Schuster was brought in to basically kind of replace and manufacture the role that Rashee Rice did. Maybe it's time to get him going. Hopefully they make some halftime adjustment where the offense looks a little bit more in sync. But that play to Xavier Worthy, I think that showed you a lot of things. One, Patrick Mahomes did not get his power zapped by the aliens from Space Jam. He can still throw the ball deep. He's still capable of that. And also, I think it should instill some confidence in him and Xavier Worthy. How many times have we seen a pass like that last year or the years before where it hits a player in the breadbasket and they drop it and he catches it? And it was just a huge turning point. And another slight positive is Kareem Hunt looks decent. I'm not going to say that he looks good. I'm not going to say that he looks great, but there's some promise there. And I think that he could easily be the lead back while Isaiah Pacheco is out. Carson Steele, fumbles aside, isn't exactly explosive, and Samaje Perine has a role. So I think that there's some positives there. You just hope that they're able to go in and adjust at halftime offensively to the game plan without Rashee Rice. Defensively, the Chiefs have held Justin Herbert to just 78 yards, 9 for 13. He has the really impressive touchdown to Ladd McConkey. And then the running backs, right? Like this was a big story of the Chargers 2-0 start, was how dominant the running backs had been. You've got J.K. Dobbins, 7 attempts for 22 yards. Gus Edwards, 2 for 7. The wide receivers, 30, 24, 11 yards. You feel really good about where this is going. And also, besides the missed punt or the missed kick there, which is 65 yards, that's basically a Hail Mary. The punting game has done really well. They were able to down a punt right inside the 1. The other punt was inside the 20. Matt Ariza has done well there too. So I just want to remind everyone, like, talk yourself off the ledge a little bit. On Christmas Day with this team, you felt like, well, we can make plans in February. There's no reason to think that the Chiefs, this iteration of the Chiefs, is going to the Super Bowl. And they were able to work it out. Again, we're talking about this game and this season. We'll worry about Rashee Rice injuries later. But this game is completely still in reach for the Chiefs. They are fortunate to only be down 10-0. And they're fortunate to be facing a team, honestly, that has taken on a lot of water themselves. Reminder, they're without both their starting tackles. They're without their middle linebacker. They're without one of their best pass rushers. They're without one of their best safeties. That's huge. And then Justin Herbert, you've seen him hobbling off the field a couple of times with injuries. So there's a bright side to this. For the second half, I think some of the keys are the Chiefs are going to have to be able to find a way to move the ball without running the ball. It seems that the run game has been somewhat efficient, but they cannot lean on it entirely. Kareem Hunt looks like he's got a little bit of juice left, but I don't think that this is a game like last week where they were able to just run the ball down the team's throat. Maybe they make some adjustments in the run game, and that helps, but the Chargers are holding up pretty well there. You would like to see the offense be able to get going with some of the quick passing game, minus the touchdown. Xavier Worthy's basically been missing from this offense. One other highlight that might make some Chiefs fans feel good is Travis Kelce. You've got him with 5 catches for 74 yards in this game. That has been a nice development. A lot of the passes that he's caught are kind of cliche Kelce plays where you feel like he looks like himself. It's nice to know that they can reach back and get it. I almost wonder a little bit if they were forcing it to Kelce at the beginning there where the interception occurred. That kind of, I don't know if that was a design play for him, or I'll have to look at the L22 to know if that was really just trying to force the issue there. But it feels like they've got that out. Travis Kelce feels like Travis Kelce. And for the offense, they've just got to clean up some of the penalties too. Like they've had a couple of penalties that really hurt them. Taking them out of field goal range there was brutal. This game has kind of felt like exactly what some people thought it was going to. We saw all these injuries. We saw all the questions around the Chargers and how beat up they were. And everyone said, okay, Chiefs 13-10 win. And quite honestly, right now that feels like a possibility with how this game has gone. One other note that I just wanted to bring up, and something that I think has been a big talking point this week, has been Patrick Mahomes isn't playing well. It's hard for us to really pick apart this half here because so many things have went poorly, but the interception was not playing well. We don't know what they would have done on that drive where they had Rashee Rice and Carson Steele fumbles the ball, but that didn't help either. But one thing that is interesting to me is almost always when Patrick Mahomes escapes the pocket, good things happen. Sometimes he just scrambles for a few yards or throws the ball out of bounds. But in this game specifically, almost every time he's escaped the pocket, it almost looks like he's running exclusively to run. Some other more scrambling quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, those type of players, when they escape the pocket, passing is done. They're just throwing the ball. They're just running. And Mahomes has kept his head down. And that's something that's been surprising to me because you go back to any Patrick Mahomes highlight, a lot of them are out of structure when the play breaks down. That's something that I would like to see grow, and something that I'd like to see improve in this game is them being able to make productivity off of those broken plays. It's going to be an interesting half of football here. I believe the Chargers get the ball after half, so Chiefs have another chance to get them stopped on defense. We will see what happens. We'll wait eagerly for a report on Rashee Rice. Hopefully, just a reminder, if you're trying to really talk yourself off the ledge with Rashee Rice, things looked really bleak for Jordan Love whenever he injured himself in the first week of the season in Brazil. He ended up missing 2 weeks. A lot of people thought some of the same things that they might be thinking about Rashee Rice's injury. So just keep that in mind too. Injuries are funny little things. But for now, we're going to go ahead and call that a show. We appreciate you guys listening. We will be here right after the game ends to talk about everything that happens in this game and hopefully another Chiefs victory party. For now, that's going to be it from the Arrowhead Addict Network. I'm Price Carter. Go Chiefs.